Oftentimes when somebody's calling a rug cleaner, the rug cleaner will say, what sort of rug do you have? And what he's really talking about, is it hand woven? Is it tufted? Is it wall to wall? You know, I mean, people will often have wall to wall that's been bound on the side and they use as area rug. So what sort of rug do you have? And they'll often ask people, look at the back. Do you see the pattern? Well, here on the front, we see it looks very much like any normal rug. We see the pile coming out, but then we go to the back, and what we see that it's got a almost like a heavy, like a canvas backing. And what this tells us is that this is a tufted rug. What they do is they take a loosely woven fabric and they shoot with a gun. They take and they inject strands of wool through it, and that's what we see on the front as the pile. Then across the back of that, then they put on normally a latex backing, which glues the knots into place. They're not excuse me, that's the point. They're not knots, they're loops. So by having the latex backing, it locks the loops into place, giving it a pile front. And then over that, to protect the latex, then they put on another fabric over the top of it, so that when we see it, we see something like this. So when somebody asks you what sort of rug do you have, and you look and you see something on the back like this, you'll know that this is not a hand woven rug, this is a tufted rug. Now what gets confusing is that people selling rugs are not always quite as clear as we'd like them to be. I don't want to say dishonest, but sometimes they use terms that can be a little bit confusing, and they'll talk about hand tufted. Well, what that means is that somebody with a tufting gun, which inserts the loop through the loose fabric, has sat there and shot that gun thousands of times to create a rug. It's much faster than pile weaving. It's consequently quite a bit less expensive. So they call it hand tufting, and yes, it's done by hand, but it's not a hand woven rug. So when you see the back of your rug like this, you have a tufted, or hand tufted, or a gun tufted rug. All three terms are used interchangeably in the industry. One of the other things, and let's compare that now, I'm looking at an Indian rug, and somebody say, can you see the pattern on the back? Well, here we take a look at the back, and we can see these are the backs of the knots that we're looking at. So if you can see the pattern like this, it's far more likely to be a hand knotted rug. So fabric back, tufted, like this, more likely to be hand knotted.